we go. There we go. Oh, okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fantastic.
Oh, I'm texting you this right now.
I found it.
Oh, found it. Where I'm like, okay. All right. Paste. Okay. If you're trying to get in.
I saw all your pictures from Florida. It looked super fun.
Oh my gosh. Well, and you would understand Gatorland, you know.
Yeah.
That was a big deal. Hey, Karen, can you hear us? She's been having some trouble with her computer.
Oh no.
It looks like she's not enjoying it. Okay, so Danny, I had some revelations for you while I was gone.
Yay.
Yay. Where are you?
Outside. See my mom's Jeep?
Oh, wow. You know what?
Finally.
Oh, you're with us.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Thanks. We had a few problems here.
Oh gosh. Well, me too. I came back and my Zoom stopped working.
Oh God. Oh no.
So like it was Monday. I had to like literally we went from 5 different things. We went to Skype. We went to Google. We went to everywhere, and none of them worked.
Oh, I mean, you know, Mercury just came out of retrograde, so.
It hits me, man. Mercury loves to be like, hey, let me bitch slap you.
Hey, it did it to Mom. She lost power in the middle of a very, very important Zoom call that she was leading.
Yep. Yeah, she and I both get it pretty bad.
Transformer.
Yeah. Yeah. I just have to take a breath and whatever. So so I put a couple of things in today's thing for you because I saw that you were coming. But you know, you've got a couple of opportunities for flowers to be picked up. So like getting some of those pre-orders ready.
Yep.
And just getting some real simple bouquets out there and selling just X number. So what, because Thanksgiving is going to be there, right?
Yeah.
So when you are going to put in an order, how much time do you need to be able to order your flowers?
It depends on where I order them from. If I order them from Kohler and Dram, or if I order them from Fletcher's, it's about a week.
Okay. So I would look at, right, putting that offer out, you know, designing your design. But designing your design, we've got, you know, 3 big holidays coming, right?
Yeah.
That you can be kind of creative for and whatever, but you can also just do 1 delivery day. You know, you can either choose to deliver them or let them all pick up, because you can do COVID friendly pickup just in the front yard.
Right.
If it's not freezing, it'll be cold enough for them to stay there. But I think you can, it's very little front money for you. You can beat the cost of what somebody's going to grab at the grocery store.
Yeah.
But I think you've got a way to pull some seed money out in the next 60 days.
Yeah.
So do you have any specific ideas that you want to do for Thanksgiving?
I've been working with an idea in my head about using cranberries and
Love it.
orange blossoms and doing a bowl instead of a ball.
Yep.
And instead of like the cornucopia
Right.
Just this beautiful decorative bowl full of cranberries and orange blossoms and little candles floating in there.
I love it. Love it.
And Tilly and I are working with resin right now.
Oh, good.
We're doing a lot with that together. We're getting a dice. We have a dice mold set. So we're gonna get an Etsy shop going strictly for like Dungeons and Dragons dice made out of
perfect.
That are full of things from nature, not glitter, not crap.
Right.
So we have some, she put grass in. I have one set for my cousin that has.
Is she doing them as a clear resin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those are gonna be great.
So we're gonna put flowers in them and leaves and all kinds of things. I know people really like the fall colors, so we're gonna do that. Our big test subject is my cousin Garrett, who's 11. We're gonna have him make his own for Christmas. And if that goes well, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do like a class on how to make your own dice.
Oh yeah, I love it.
So,
yeah, these are all good pieces, but I'm looking specifically, when I was thinking about you, I was really looking for, you need some seed money.
yeah. And we have, I have a Christmas idea that has no poinsettias in it.
Oh, good. So nothing poisonous, yay.
Or, you know, allergic reactions in my house.
Yeah.
And then none of my bouquets will have cinnamon because I'm allergic to cinnamon. So they'll be cranberry scented or orange scented or something unique instead of here's your pumpkin spice scented something.
Right. We're so in the pumpkin spice apocalypse. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, I would put together just an idea of, you know, how much you need as seed money to be able to kind of come in and do that.
Yeah.
Hey Donna, how are you? We see you.
Coffee on your right.
Thank you.
Okay, well we're getting in. Janet Mills, so we'll just do check-in. I think we have 3 more to come in. Janet, give us your update.
Well, I'm a graphic designer. You probably already know me. I live in Minneapolis on planet Earth. Not going to talk about any more about where I live because of the yesterday's events. And I have a big print project that kind of paused and now is concluding this week.
That's great.
Yeah, so it'll be busy, and then we're all outside a little bit because there's never everything done before winter, or a little extra bonus vitamin D this week from a little sunshine before we're covered in coats. So this week is busy, and it's going to be 30 years in our house, and we haven't given it any indoor TLC. It's time to print some of my photos and put them on the wall, and then be open to where work calls me next, just to expand. Yeah, and I want to just say gratitude always to Mickey for leading us to prosperity and taking time to teach us. That's
okay. All right. Well, welcome along. We're glad you're here. All right, Danny, give us a quick check-in.
So I've been working with flowers and resin since my sister's wedding in September.
Don't forget to tell them what you do.
I am a florist. I did all the flowers for my sister's wedding.
And they were beautiful.
Oh, thank you. We dipped her bouquet in resin and it turned out amazing. And right now I'm working on holiday stuff, and today I have an interview with the DMV.
Ooh.
So.
Well, that's great. Okay. Donna, give us your update.
Sure.
I'm just noticing that my name says Carlos Diaz on my computer. Carlos plays online chess tournaments,
and has to be on Zoom on one computer and playing on another computer because they're looking for cheating.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I know how to change that back. I'll get around to it. So
You can
anyway,
do it right now.
We
yeah,
knew
you
it
can
was
do it
you.
too. Yeah, we found that. Thank you. Yes, please do. So just hanging in there. My name is Donna. I have the Soccer Birds business and the Nido Tree business and Soccer Birds business venture. And it's plodding along. Ta-da.
Ta-da! All right. Okay, well, we'll do it. All right, Marge, give us your update.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Are you
Okay,
calling from
I'm
the
in the
farm?
car. Yes, I'm driving to the farm because well, we've got some post holes because we got this farm last Thursday, and then I had a break-in by Friday or Saturday, and the only thing they stole was a chainsaw that, because it was really the only thing in the house. And anyway, so that's been a 5-month saga, and I'm excited to have you come out. I'm excited to have a bonfire sometime. I don't know who just spoke, but I used to be a driver examiner, and I used to run the exam station on Lake Street and the one on University Avenue. I was with DVS for, if that's where you were talking about, I didn't know, but anyway, I heard the previous caller say something about that.
Yes, that's
Get
Danny,
an
and she's
interview.
got the DMV, she's got an interview.
Yeah, because I've worked in that department for 20 years in all kinds of jobs there. So good luck, but if you want to call me for tips, I still know some people there. It was really good benefits, and it was really, like my boyfriend would always tell me, you'd already be retired with a pension. So like, shut up, because it wouldn't have been interesting compared to, you have a side biz, so that's good. And my side biz took over, to be full-time, and I was part-time there. But anyway, so this is all very exciting right now, and I'm just over busy, and I just wanted to be sure and get on and listen in listening mode, because I have to go do too many things, and I'll just be out of sight and listen. So thanks, Nikki.
You're
and
welcome.
It was fun seeing your posting that, the sunshine and everything, and I'm so glad you came back on a warm week instead of that frigid cold after such beautiful temps. So it's nice to be able to get outside for a few days.
Yeah. I might have to work on my tan.
Well, not going to happen here, right?
Right.
Anyway.
Could happen. All right, Karen, give us your update.
Well, right now I'm trying to email the people who signed up but aren't here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So, well, not much is new. I'm really sick of COVID-19 and not being able to be outside with people. I'm taking a couple of online classes from, of all things, the Bronx Art Museum.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh, that's fun.
It is fun. There's and Sharon Lee is also signed up for it. And it's a class called the braided essay. So you take 3 different things and you write about each one, and then you try to make them into a story. And so far, it's kind of hard, but hey. I've been doing some writing, and haven't cleaned any closets, but that's probably what I should be doing. And I've been reading all your stuff on Facebook. That takes up quite a bit of my time.
Oh, me?
Yeah. It looked like you were having a really good time. And Karsten looked really healthy.
Yeah.
He doesn't smile as much as his girlfriend does.
Yeah, his smilers are broken, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you had a good time.
I love the picture after Gatorland where he's asleep and smiling in the front seat.
Oh, God, right?
That was my favorite picture. I was like,
Mine too.
I interrupted a Zoom call for my mom to show her. I was like, look, he's smiling.
Right. He won't do it while he's awake, but he will do it while, you know, while he's sleeping. But yes, that was my truest, you know, joy, was getting that piece. And I put a picture of Gatorland in on our class today. Okay, well, welcome everybody. You know, I'm going to start to share my screen here. We have a great concept. I know we've got 2 other people. Karen, I've reached out to them as well.
Okay.
And I posted the link.
Can I just say that I registered for this meeting at 8:45. I know that's a little bit late, but the Eventbrite invite did not arrive in my inbox till 9:08.
Oh,
so
wow.
those Eventbrite links are taking longer, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm glad
to us who registered.
I'm glad you let me know so I could send it to you.
Yes.
Yes, always text us.
And I couldn't find the Zoom link. It wasn't immediate obvious. It's like, get your tickets and click here. And then I scrolled down and found the link. So just in case that could be an issue.
Yeah.
Just because I did the same thing and registered late. Thanks.
Oh yeah, I like that piece too. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry. Okay. We will put this in the big picture here. One of the pieces that I just remind everybody of is that this is your art project, and you're going to get some choices about your business. And Donna, I was thinking about you when I wrote this.
Love it.
Which really is, right? Are you going to fight with it or are you going to play with it? And I think that really has been your last piece of growth, was that you kind of decided that you're going to stop fighting with it and start playing with it. Danny, this felt like it was a little easier for you to kind of walk in. Marge, you already knew it. Karen, you live it every day. But I did want to tell you, for those of you who, after we say goodbye, I'll share the screen again. And I found a little 3.5-minute video that I did for my iSelfie series in 2018. And boy, is it relevant right now. It was a little creepy and scary, but kind of great. So I'll play that if you feel like watching it. If you don't, no worries, bug out. No worries. We have a lot of tips that are going to come in today. So put them in our chat box and put them in early. Danny's got to bug out a couple minutes early. So, you know, if you have tips on practical tips for people, just start putting them in. We have really specific requests for each of your businesses right now. Danny's got some seed money that she's got to grow, and she's got new product development. Janet's expanding. So again, right, giving her smaller projects would probably be helpful. For Donna, again, it's positioning, it's getting word out there, it's getting talking points there. So if you have tips, Marge is just in a whirlwind. So, you know, basically, I think she just needs an army. But we can let her put that in. Practicality, right? It sounds so simple, but it's really not. But we are all going to face the need for things to be financially functional, because again, right, our economy is going to change quite a bit in the next year, just with unemployment and the change in whatever's happening with a political agenda, whether it be a Republican agenda or a Democratic agenda. We will need practical tools. The functionality for you in your business is looking for really small practical things that will always work. So we're not looking for huge weird things. It's these very simple practical tools that will get your business working. So I put in here this part, right, of what is something that you have the capability of doing. And that's really going to be the homework. When I open it up, I'm really going to tell you, hey, we need some practical tips for you to share with other people, things that have worked for you. It may be around workspace, it may be around clients. I'm, of course, always going to focus on one specific topic, and that is, right, money in the door. I am always looking for the functionality of practical solutions to get money in the door. So reasons, right? Benefit, efficiency, time saver. But I think where we have really two opportunities in today's time is the illusion of benefit and the invitation to participate. So those are the two things I really want you to pay attention to in the next 5 slides. For those of you who didn't happen to notice, but this is my son and his girlfriend, and we are at a place called Gatorland. And in Gatorland, right? So what's the proposal of the loss? The proposal of the loss is that they have a photographer there. They're going to catch every move, right? And the illusion that everyone has is, I'm going to lose that moment because you're just with these giant pack of gators for a little while, right? So we have the illusion of benefit, and we also have the invitation. So, and yes, those gators are real. They are, and they bite. We just fed them some meat. Let my computer catch up, right? So pictures that are taken at an event, Jamie, and this will probably really be on your piece, this lesson right now, is the value of photography of the products and the events that you're doing, because it's of something of value now, but it's also evergreen content. It's also something that's of value to you for a long time. So I had been to this particular adventure 19 years ago. We are back. And I literally went to go back and look for a picture we had taken 19 years ago, right? So pictures are something that are of value now and they're of value later. So we're really looking at a practical solution. So the practical solution on this picture was when they handed me the disc, not the disc, but the flash drive of images, they just simply said, well, just FYI, we keep your images on file for 30 days. So here's the ID number on your piece of paper. And if there's any problem, it doesn't matter what the problem is. Even if you lose your flash drive, no worries, we'll just email it to you for free. No worries, right? That's the illusion of a benefit. Even, right? I don't have to stop enjoying my vacation because I'm worried about this little fucking flash drive, right? That I can just enjoy what is here. Don't worry, we keep it on travel. Then here comes the invitation. Plus, I really love those smiles. I hope you add it to your holiday card, right? That's an invitation to, it's right, it's an expression. When we look at that piece of customer service, right, it's a practical solution. That cost that company not $1, not $1. But what they did train is that the people that do photography, they only do photography. So the photographer is sending pictures from his camera into the back office. The back office is editing them immediately so that by the time we're done with that event, we can be there to purchase that item. And that part, right, the illusion of, oh, hey, when the photographer was taking your picture, they said, hey, this will be ready for you at 1:30 for you to just look at. Didn't ever ask me to buy it. Just, hey, this picture will be available for you to look at 1:30. So when you start to look at that piece of practicality, right, that's having a trained person on the front line, right? But that picture was free advertising. And the reason that picture in your product is so critical is because that person sharing it makes the value of that content higher to the people that they're seeing it with, because it's people that they know and that they trust and that they love and that they're happy, right? So if this makes my friend Georgia happy, it'll probably make me happy, right? So people share. The interesting piece was on that holiday card list, right? that's a time where people are sending out when they don't normally do it, right? But it also, when you start to look at what else it creates, what Disney is specialized in is happy people are a great business goal. So watching happy people color or create, or happy people doing something, that business goal is really what that invitation is there to do. So when you're looking for practicality and you're adding humans or dogs or anything in there, you want to show that piece. Saatchi and Saatchi are the huge purveyors of why you own toothpaste. Okay, so Saatchi and Saatchi is the advertising. They are the name that changed advertising. They are why you saw diaper ads change from a crying baby to a happy baby. Okay, 1950, we didn't have toothpaste before then, right? So they started all of the toothpaste that you wanted a big, bright, beautiful smile. That conversation wasn't in 1940. It came in the 50s with Saatchi and Saatchi of, hey, Palmolive, we've got a product we want to sell. So when you start looking at happy people are a business goal, and that when you start looking at the practicality, I want you to think about that as love. How do you show love? So again, right, last picture of Gatorland, but they're just so cute, aren't they? Thousands. So I'm in the middle of thousands of these alligators.
I just took the hours that I have ready to go. We immediately decided what to do with that extra time.
I did not understand one single word that Marge said. So if you type it in, we're good.
She's driving.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. We heard none of that. But again, the practicality in this picture, right, that you see that I put in there, whew, last picture you have of gators, right? That's that practicality of direction in advance of your customer asking the question, right? So when you're looking at today's learning, what I want you to focus in on is where does your customer need a practical solution? Jamie, and it may be like at events of like, where's the trash going to go, right? It may be, how is this going to work? Or how do we get people into the house? How do we get you out of the house? I would go through every single customer question or curiosity and give them to them in advance, right? So here are the questions that most people have. Hey, Janet, how much is my project going to cost? Well, here's how I charge for that. This project looks like, and that's a lot of times when you're giving a diagnosis of time, right? These types of things traditionally take this long. For those of you who have multiple products, Danny, this would be you. It is so much better to start adding things together. Jamie, and this would also affect you too, because you also have many different people that you're putting together on one project. So you've got a florist, you've got a cook, you've got staffing, you've got a lot of different pieces, right? This really works by putting things together that are very unlikely. Donna, this would also occur to you if you're putting together coloring pages. Perhaps somebody can take multiple coloring pages and put them together so that they can create their own book.
True. I mean,
yep, online to go, hey.
My thing is the fundraisers. My book would be so perfect for a fundraiser.
Exactly, right? Show them how to put that together, right? That's adding two things together that always connect. And if they're unlikely, then people are more interested, right? It was completely shocking that this black rhino was in love with this llama when I was there, right? So those two became friends, along with friends with me. Practicality is also where I really want you to focus in on today. It's the tool that you're going to measure how a customer, what they have to go through to give you your business. Do they have to know you? Do they have to have a referral? How do they get to do business with you? Do they fill out a form, right? How hard is it to get to do business with you? So we're looking for practical solutions for that customer so that they can, you know, have an easier way to do business with you. So for me, I have a closed door. I don't have an open door. They would have to have a referral because that's all I'm taking are private referrals. So when you start to look at those questions of how can people do that, it is really giving them information so that they can really understand what's there. I think Kathy came on as well. So
She is.
okay, so Kathy, when I think about your business, right, this is a really great one of how, you know, how do we contact you? How can we have a conversation? What can that do, right? How does that customer reach into you even for something small? Hey, you can just text me. I'll have your phone number in my thing. So if you just text me and you have a question about your faucet, you know, I answer my texts between X hours and X hours. That there is now a personal relationship that's available to you in a different way. So where I want you to kind of think about practicality and what are the practical solutions that your clients need to be able to easily do business with you, I would think about the simple get. What do we get from hanging with you, right? And I will tell you the ability to text is a huge, huge benefit in my personal business. That people will just have a simple question for me. Hey, what does this mean? Oh, hey, I want to take a picture of a piece of paper. Can you tell me what this piece of paper means? Do I need to do something here? Or whatever that is. Help people understand what they get by having your phone number. Just that piece. The other thing of practicality, and I really want you to also think about this in, Janet, this would be in yours, Danny, this would be in your business model, somewhat in Donna's, Jamie, and this is so on you, Kathy, this is big, Marge, you already know this, but it's really looking at what is the experience, what's the actual doing, rather than just saying this big theory or idea, right? To just say, here's the experience of why I work with this person. And it sometimes it doesn't have anything to do with what you do on a normal basis, right? It may be that you host an event annually. It may be that you do something that's really unique. And that's why having a personality in your business is a practical tool, right? If you're someone who's selling creativity, why don't we do some creative things, right? These are experiences rather than just the idea. So what are the experiences that you can share with your people? For me, it's just something as simple as a walking club. And then when you look at that experience, then think about how you want to word that. So in this image we have, right, Mickey as a consultant. Mickey as a consultant is instantly like having both windows rolled down energy that you need to get moving, right? That explains it all, right? This is the experience that we're selling, that there's going to be a fresh piece of air or energy into that relationship. So I would take this idea of this picture and start to think about what is it in your product that somebody's going to get, and what's the image that you're going to push with that or pair with that. It's actually a pairing, right? What showcases what you do. The other piece of practicality, and Kathy, I think this is going to be really very much for you, is how do you model a twist in behavior? Jamie, and I can see you really playing with this next concept as well, right? Modeling a twist in behavior. How did we used to do it? versus how do we do it now, right? So when we start to look at that, it can be either inviting people to your kind of crazy because it's their kind of crazy, right? That we value this about you that other people might not, right? So I might value matchy-matchy, right? I might value adventure. I might value, spending time with family. I may value, this whole thing about schooling that is changing, that we can log into class everywhere, has made parents have the ability to argue for travel as a real tool, right? That the school system didn't let you used to take your kids out of school for more than so many days. Well, now we have online learning. You can see an entire repertoire open up of, well, we'll just log into class on those days, but we're going to go see the world and still be able to come back to our normal regular class. Another piece that you can look at is to show me how to get started working with you, right? The practical ways of how do I buy into that? How do I buy into buying a specialty bouquet? How do I get into figuring out how to give one away a month, right? How do I get used to having a way? What I like about the florist idea is it's also a way to love myself, right? That why not have something delivered just for you? Most people spend $20 on makeup. Why wouldn't I spend $20 on flowers, right? Or, what is it? How do we get there? How can we put products together so that they're better, right? So when you start to look at, if you going just on the concept of makeup, right? Sometimes it's not just the makeup itself, it's the applicator. And if you've ever noticed, applicators for makeup aren't inexpensive. So, right? And then teach people how to talk about your product. What are the words that you want them? What are the practical, functional words? Creamy, delightful is a little weird, right? It's a little loose. So look for the very specific words that are practical words that you want people to invite. And as economies become wiggly, people are going to 100% look for practical solutions, practical pricing, easy things that they can do that look like a luxury end, right? A bountiful end. I want to, right? Dress great for less. When you see that, right? We also invite people to new experiences, practical new experiences. So this one, if you've ever had, this is a tea that unfolds into a flower. It's one of my favorite things to give because it comes, they used to just sell the tea. Now they actually sell the teapot. So, building a whole conversation around a product, that the product that they're selling is tea that unfolds into this beautiful lotus looking flower. But what they're really selling is a teapot to go with that. And what they're really selling is time for you to enjoy tea with your friend. And now you guys will have something together, right? What they're really selling here is friendship in tea. So they've paired two things together in a way, and then they gave it a twist. And that's what you're looking for, right? Is what are those things that you can put together that you can kind of give a twist to? Practicality with your customers also is telling me what I get to do, and what I get, and doing it quickly. So many of you will have a product showcase. A product showcase is really, right, this picture kind of tells it all, right? You get all this for $20 and a phone call, right? Oh, okay. Well, that I can in my mind now decide how many ways that will work for me, right? How many cookies is that, right? What are the kinds of cookies that are there? And here's what I'm hoping for. For those of you who have multiple products, so Jamie, and this would be you, Danny, this would definitely be you. I think that's also going to apply to you, Kathy, as well. It is really giving me multiple products to compare, right? So that would be at price points. Remember that when you're giving people multiples to do, we're always giving them 3, and we're always giving them 3 so that they land in the middle. If what you want is to showcase something that is the most expensive and you want them to land on it, then you push it into the middle, right? Because most people are going to put their price points low, mid, high, and then they save the high for last. That's not the way to land that. You would put the high in the middle and then come down at the end. So you would do an entry level, you would go to the high performer of here's the tout de gras of what you want, and here's the other part that's a step down from that. And people will always go back to the middle. So in showcasing product, Danny, that would probably work for you of like, hey, here's the entry level, here's the grand bouquet, here is the, you know, upper version of that, but everybody's going to want to click back. And most of the time, people are used to clicking back to something that is less than. We are wanting to train them to get the more than. So the more is in the middle is where I'm kind of giving you that. Practicality, when you think about what you need as a business, I would look at, right, what are the things that are going to form with you? I'm always looking for money, right? I want you to have money in your pocket because it gives you what? It gives you choices. So when we start looking at those choices, right, you're going to look at what are the things that what are the practical solutions that get you the right clients, the clients that are going to pay you in your highest form or do the work that you like the most, right? So if it's fundraising, right, how do we get to people who are fundraising in a specific way that are doing multiple fundraisers in a year? You're just, you know, one more. It doesn't all ride on you. You're something new and refreshing. You're not an edible product. You know, that this is, you know, gluten-free, fantastic, right? Let's give you something that actually brings benefit in these ways, right? So it can give you new clients. If there are awards for what you do, when we look at another person from this group, Janine Marie Photography, right? That she focused in on weddings. She only wanted to be the best wedding photographer. She's been voted the best wedding photographer in the state for 12 years. Not just 12 years. And I think this is her 13th year that she was there. So it's a big deal. So it's awards and it may be rewards, right? So it may be that your art is being displayed in a place. It may be that you are in a magazine that we can buy. It is some other piece. It may be practicality of how are you reaching out to your customers in ways that bring you something. When we go back to that photography, that goes back to we are known for what? And when you go to that, we are known for, I would really think about what you want to be known for. Because now this gives you the opportunity to come into pieces of media that you wouldn't have before, right? Or getting to phone books that you wouldn't have before. So we are known for being the best florist for Jen whatever, right? We are known for being one of the only products available to this group. We are known for something specific. When we look at Marge's product, right, she is known for, in those easy lights, an easy solution, right? That she has hundreds and hundreds of reviews. Those are practical tools for her. She didn't have to pay for those reviews, but she did a lot of effort to make sure that those reviews were available to come. These are practical solutions that are going to have a positive outcome that is about how you want others to talk about you. One of the reasons I love reviews and people posting them is because then they become property that you can utilize again. When someone gives you a review that is online, they are also giving you permission to use that. So that is now an availability for you to use someone else's words to be able to talk about what you're known for. Again, happy people. And when we put a name to it, it's amazing how much more you trust it. And when you have a first and last name, people trust it even more. When you put a photograph with it, people trust it even more. So when you are talking about photography of your product in use, it's critical. It's critical. What you want is the tools for people to be able to talk about you when you're not looking, right? We know how to do social. One of the reasons why you would have put a photographer in on something is because you want those pictures to be out there lurking about on the web. So think about how people can talk about you. When we look at practicality, it is also illuminating your journey. Sometimes people are going to do business with you because you got to somewhere they wanted to be and they couldn't get there. That may be your story. That may be the process that you went through that made that change, right? So here's one that happens for me a lot, right? By giving people, because as you know, I travel a lot, and I like that. I'm able to leave. I travel about 12 to 16 weeks in a year. I take 1 month at a time and I'm gone. But again, how was I able to do that? Is that I had to come up with just something as simple as a savings plan. If any of you have looked at Win, right, the 50 fun things, that her watching me made her make that change. That we have 50 fun things because of a conversation that she and I had. And from her watching me, then she can figure out how to do that. That journey that you're on in your business, in your product, in your creativity, all of that is a journey that someone else would like to go on with you. So in this case, right, that I'm like, oh, well, how can you leave? How can you not work for that? Well, one, I'm self-employed, but I had to have a savings plan and I had to have some other parameters. And so people often want to know, like, what do I do? I also advise on TripAdvisor. So I'll post my trips and where I'm going and what I'm doing and put all my reviews there. So if someone wanted to go back and have the experience that I had in Santa Fe, they can go back and look at all the places that I ate and what was there, and they can make their own choices, right? So that doesn't make me a better financial advisor necessarily, but it does make it more fun to be on a journey with me, right? Because I'm doing something that maybe someone else wanted. It makes it more interesting to be part of your life. When you are also looking at this, it's listening to your customers and telling them that you heard them. So it's not just, hey, I want to hear what you liked or didn't like about my product or solution, but it's also giving them credit. So simple t-shirt, we've got a lot of t-shirt brands coming out right now. We've got a lot of t-shirt brands that are coming out because they want to invite social change. We look at Houston White here locally. We look at Davey Dave. I mean, we've got a lot of people here in Minneapolis that are really pushing out t-shirts that have more than just a conversation. In this particular love brand, right, that they are looking just for ways to showcase love. And the simple request from their clients were, I actually need this for my dog, right? So now they have brand expansion through their main line, right? So this is vertical, right? So it's going straight up the line. It doesn't change their brand identity at all, but they're able to assimilate another product vertically that can go with it. It's an add-on. So now they can have a $28 t-shirt plus a $25 dog t-shirt. Will people pay $25 for a dog t-shirt that matches theirs? Apparently so. Here is another piece of kind of inviting people in for something that's crazy. Something like this, I got a lot of pushback on, and then we did it and they realized how cost effective it was. So this was offering something specific that people don't normally have at lunch. This was dessert at lunch. How do we sell dessert at lunch? And so this is, right, InstaFans. Just send it out to your Instagram people, right? And that meant that when they got there, that Instagram people had to be able to show that they were an Instagram fan. Oh my gosh, I'm a fan, right? They gave credit, right? That's down here, right? They gave credit to the person who gave them the original idea. And then they just invited that in for you and a friend. You had to have a friend with you. So they got a new customer on top of it, or they had an old customer come in. They tried another product that they wouldn't normally do. So they're out the cost of that. But again, when you're looking at products that you can actually give away, some of them only cost them pennies. So this particular, on the dessert side, right, what were they going to pay in advertising? Well, okay, and it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It may be that you're adding in a small bouquet of flowers for you to have the next day, or it may be that we're going to do this extra special thing. But again, how do you get people to buy into the things in very practical ways that will get you to your own end goal that is a part of a much bigger plan, right? And that, again, as always for me, is that love brand, right? How do we fall in love with you in a new way? How do we kind of take that love with us for another day? And how do we tell our friends that we love you, right? This truth to be told. Some of you are having products that are really talking about a truth that has to be told. Kathy, this really affects you. Marge, this is really in your piece, right? That sometimes things are harder or more difficult than we like to think. This particular, right? We wish the corporate ladder was this easy, right? You already get a feeling of this is hard. The image is giving you something already, but you didn't necessarily know you needed that, right? So helping people understand that they may need something because of a truth that we don't have to tell. We don't have to say that, like, hey, getting a leg up is hard, right? That they can just kind of get the whole imagery with that. I don't have to go into a huge amount of detail on it. You get to decide if you need your resume to be better. Here's another one, right? Giving people ways that they can buy into something, that they can get the concept. A lot of people, for me, have a lot of cute ideas, but they sure don't know how to make it make money. So again, right, inviting people into a truth. The truth is that there's a lot of half-baked business ideas. And when you start to look at what that is, that's where we want you to kind of start putting them into the text box. I'm going to open us back up again, and then I'll come back again. But one of the things that I'm going to put in here for you is tradecraft. So I do want you to start typing feverishly into the chat box for common practice things that you are doing, ways that you invite your customers to you, the things that were of interest to you. Many of you, I called out your name, but you may already be doing it. I may be slower than you are. And then that tradecraft is where creators get information. So if you have, they have just tons of stuff and it's all free, and I love that. So I'm going to hit stop share, and I'm going to open it up, wave to everybody.
We've lost Marge and Kathy.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yeah. We haven't heard from Jamie yet.
Yeah. Jamie, give us your check-in.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Sorry I was late.
Well, we're glad you're here. Give us your quick update. Nobody has heard from you.
I don't know. I'm still so stomped on like my social media and stuff and my website. I got one of the business's websites done. I'm going to put it in the chat. So I'm kind of excited about that, but I'm kind of, just been stomped on that. So that I've just been working and trying to get everything together. That's basically what I've been doing.
Good. And Danny, I see you've loaded up some pictures, so thank you. Is Janet still on yet? Janet, I think you also have some pieces to add into there, some practicality. Jamie and I want to go back to some of the things that I've been watching you do. You've got clients in multiple states. So you have different locations that you're serving. I think that's another conversation we can have out there. You've got some photography pieces. You've got a lot of Instagram worthy events that you're doing. How are you grabbing the images for that?
Mostly on my phone. And then like if my client has a photographer, I'm kind of at the whim of waiting on them to send pictures and get them to me. And so I have been I finally did like fully hire somebody to kind of like build websites, social media, kind of like take that over. Cause I just post like, oh, this was cool today. I did this here, or I'll just post it up. It's never like support my business and so like, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. And the other thing is like, I'm working on is moving more out of like, I've gone down to only one client in Minnesota. And so like transitioning to the cities on the East Coast where I'm at closer to North Carolina and stuff has been something that I've been trying to figure out how do I do that when the big basis of my social media is Minnesota. And like how to transfer that. I feel like I'm very confused on how to make everything be one working unit. And I don't even know if I said that right.
I think one of the pieces that I want to invite everyone to is photography, because that we are very visual, and again, it's really starting to have different images for somebody to be able to buy into. So that might be as simple as taking a picture of a flower, and having something like that to go, hey, these are types of things, and inviting people to some of the conversation that's in your head. I look at this for actually every single person that's still in here. This is very much, we don't know what your office looks like. We don't know what your day looks like. Janet, I just watched your mouth open, right? We don't know what that looks like. Invite us into that conversation. Invite us in.
It's a lot of cussing on my end. In my private time, I look like this. I feel like I mean, I guess, does that work? Like for people to feel like they're really a part, like I should be taking pictures and videos of the process of things and making people feel more.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know they need to see you in a hoodie because you're delivering a product that isn't that. When you're showing up on that day, you look like, a glamour photo shoot. So when it comes to that day, that's the product that we have to sell.
Okay.
Right. You can put that in there as, and here's the behind the scenes of what I'm doing today, but you are selling a product that's 100% of the time glamorous. So when we look at that glam jam, I would look at what about this today is something I can talk about for the glam jam.
Gotcha.
Right. So, oh my gosh, I love this cookie. This is the way I see it. I love this plating. I love this, whatever. There's so many glam jam items that you can bring, you can highlight, you can share that somebody else is doing. You've got chefs who are doing photography. You've got balloon decorators that are doing things. You've got florists that are doing things. You can share their product with your people because you're going to sell it.
Right.
So you actually have the easiest social media to upload. I mean, you really do have enough partners that are doing that photography. if we go back to Tiny Diva, who's here a lot, they have a lot of photography partners completely. And they invited all their photography partners to showcase in a huge event. Janine Marie also did a huge book for an event center where she invited everybody to put on a pretend event so that they could socially distance, so that they could showcase the space. They got the space to pay for all of the costs because it was the space was gonna get the big piece, right? The space needed a book that they could showcase. This is how magical we can be. So then they put together the list of all of the people that they were going to showcase in that book. The event center themselves paid for it. And it was an expensive book. That book is $2,500 for each one book. So she was going to get paid no matter what. But all of these other people came in. They did a whole event with the plated food, with what was there, with how they're going to decorate. And then they photographed it empty. And now they could showcase, and they needed that because they needed to showcase the center, not the event.
So one of the new spaces that we're designing, that was in my thought process, was to bring in all these people to create the look of, an event in there. So then I can utilize that to showcase our venue here in Charlotte for people, was my thought process, because I don't know as many people, I can't call 100 people here and say, hey, come, try out, and I can get half of them. That's different being in Minnesota, but thinking that I needed something more to show people, and was thinking I would invite out planners and florists and people who could kind of outfit.
But they're going to win too, right?
Yeah, but you're new, Jamie, and so that might be something that would be of advantage to them, because you're a new spot, and you would be using some of their services. And I also have to say that the photos that you posted in Goblet Summer were wonderful. So I know you've got that eye.
Right.
You've got that eye.
When I look at this for Donna, right? Again, you and I have talked about this, right? Showing hands coloring, showing hands, volunteering, that there are so many photographs that you can take with your phone of fundraising, giving the illusion of what you're trying to do, right? And just laying out this screen, right? Because this is how we're going to see it, this screen. And this is how it is. I also think that video would work really well for you to just explain how a fundraiser works. Hey, this is a new ad for a fundraiser. It can be under 30 seconds to just add some audio to it. Wow. And that, if you guys have, I'm going to think of what the name is. I'll get it in here, but there are many online tools that are free or nearly free that you can quick make something video-ish on. Oh, Animoto, that's who I was going to say. Animoto has upped its game. I put it in the thing. They have upped their game. If you have pictures and images and you want to put music to them, or if you want to do an overlay. Danny, I think the idea that we talked about with event centers for you, you have the images from Tilly's wedding and you have all the boutonnieres and so forth. But what you also have is something, I think, where you can be so awe-inspiring, right? Because you have these creative ideas. You're willing to go into the land of Star Wars, the land of Dungeons and Dragons, the land of every creative pop culture item, that because you love Harry Potter, right, you can absolutely appeal to that group because that's your journey, right? So we can share that journey with you. We can share what would that be to give a young person, right? Oh, it's back to school day. We're all trapped inside, right? How about sending your favorite little Harry Potter fan a specialized bouquet that they can have at home, right? What about sending flowers to a small person, right?
So
not always adults.
that was my big thing for Christmas, is maybe you send me your, now I don't like Elf on the Shelf, but maybe you send me your Elf on the Shelf and I stuff it in the bouquet, and the kid has to find the elf in the bouquet one day. So they, not only do they get flowers, but they find their elf.
Right.
Or in my case, the angel in the tree, where we hide the angel in the tree and she tells a story about a family member who's passed away instead of the Elf on the Shelf.
Sure. But that can also be a character, right? You could have put something as simple as a character figure, right? So find the owl, right? So that can be, find so-and-so's owl. It's not necessarily Hedwig, but you can put it in there as this kind of twisty bit that goes, oh, okay, here's how you can play with us, right? And now that person has something to play back with you on, right? And that's what you're looking for out of media, right? The practicality of, if I come up with an idea, I'm going to invite you to it, and then it brings back to you, right? The practical nature of having fun with flowers. Janet, I see that you also have some other pieces. Can I ask about the respecting licenses?
I was inspired. Danny is so creative, and everyone is, but she could put actual pieces, like, let's say it was Pokemon cards. You could put the cards in the resin, but you just like Tiny Divas does Disney, right? You have to respect the licenses so you're not sued. But that doesn't mean you can't go crazy and do exciting things. So my stuff that I wrote, this has probably been the class where I got the most ideas that you've given. And practically, I realize I don't show anyone. I'm visual, but I don't show anyone my process or my office, or like, the only thing I have are the pictures where Mickey and I are at an event and she goes, come here. And like, then it's real to me because it's frozen in time. And I realize that's missing. And there's a whole lot of stuff. And then I think I typed that the very first thing Karen said about the class at the Bronx Art Museum. I did some training that was free. There were conferences that cost thousands of dollars, but they were canceled and you could do it for free. And so suddenly you're connected nationally. And then I feel closed off from COVID, but remembering that, no, wait, this is our chance. What Janine did, Janine Marie Photography, it's like, do all this stuff now while it's winter or whatever, because then we might be busy and then you never have time to do those things.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to let Karen respond. And I think you guys have some other pieces that you want to share with each other. So I'm going to open it up to that as well.
Well, it's always great to be in a group that's so creative. I belong to about 3 of them, and they're all different. And I have trouble with my process because it's private. I coach people, and you can't really do too much. But one of the things that's been happening with my clients is that they're feeling pretty stressed. So I started a process with them, which is the audacity of hope. And I have worked with them on what things give them hope. And then I make a little thing for them.
Oh, I love this.
That has, and it's very simple, it's just note cards.
Right.
But then I mail it to them.
Right. So it's their photograph.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Simple. So what gives you hope? Good thing to think about. What gives you hope?
Right. Well, what I like about that, Karen, is, right, again, what are you going to send to that customer later as a thank you? Or, what is another way that you can, if you're doing a fundraiser this year, then, right, how do we invite them to it next year, right? What has to happen? So looking at how do you reach back to your customer?
I mostly do postcards with, you know, something on them so that they're, you know, like right after their session, I'll send them a postcard.
Yeah. Postcards I love as a solution because it's real mail.
And sometimes I send them something in a little envelope like this. Yes.
Oh, fancy. Right. Using that creativity. And again, you can do that around packaging. You can do that around some of those other pieces. Okay. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to re-share my screen. Do you guys have any other pieces that you want to give to each other before I share my screen again? Donna, do you want to talk about this side piece about the person you follow?
Well, just that it's an amazing, it's pretty successful entrepreneur. She sells very high-end handbags in LA and has boutiques in, I think, Chicago and LA and just various places. And I mean, from what I can see, she's quite successful.
Right.
And she, I mean, just one of the I'm very like conscious of what's in my background when I'm on a meeting like this or like in any photograph. And I'm like, is she even looking at her background? It's her messy bedroom. So many times she'll be like getting dressed in the morning. She's like, and it's so unfiltered. And yet she's so successful. And I don't know what is this a new generation thing where we don't have to care what's in our backgrounds? Are people just, right. I don't know, like, is she just tapping into this, hey, I didn't have room my room's a mess, and so is yours. And there it is. Like, it's so, the language of it is, I'm just fascinated by it. So I'm just honored to get to follow her on Instagram. She's very, very active. And so she's a great role model, and she's just a sister of a friend is how I heard about her. So it's really an exciting person to follow.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, those Instagram posts, we're seeing people post multiple times a day. We're also seeing them edit out old content.
And she brings in her clients. Her clients love getting posted on her Instagram with the new bag they bought, and the bags all have little names and stuff like that. And so she's inspiring to me. So I'm happy.
And that's also going back to that listening section, right? Let me listen to my clients, but let me actually showcase them as being spectacular. Right? I love my clients.
Oh, yes. Oh my God. She loves her clients. And then she also does this creative thing. I'm gonna just talk about practical. She's okay. You've just purchased this bag for, I don't even know how much these bags sell for. My friend was like, don't even bother, you know, like it's out there. But she'll sell a new handle, a new webbing.
Right.
That you can attach to your bag that you paid such and such. So there's something new about it, or that's the part that gets grungy and you want to replace anyway. So she's just got a lot of great ideas and seems to be.
We go back to that practicality piece, right? Yeah. How do we twist it together? How do we invite people to something new?
Yeah.
Right. Just start twisting it. That's a really great example of how they're doing it well.
Yeah.
I think that example of the background is very interesting because I'm on a Zoom calls with lots of people who are artists, and you know, the Zoom call is in their studio, which it's just fascinating. I spend more time looking at what they have on their shelves and on their than actually listening to the Zoom call. And it's very fascinating to see what they have. Some of them have a lot of stuff and some of them don't have much, but it's all out there, and they have a studio. So that's really important, you know, that they have the studios because they're working artists. But I think it's really interesting too, Donna, and they're not all straightened up. One person have it straightened up, and I swear she has a photograph background with that stuff in it, all tidied up.
Or even the people who close your closet door. Like, how easy would that be before you start a call? But doesn't matter to them.
They don't see it.
And I'm just fascinated by the presentation. I mean, it seems like presentation is that's always been a thing for me. And so that it makes me think, oh, is it another form of presentation that says,
It is
you look
presentation,
in,
absolutely.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Just
Absolutely. And I'm a huge purveyor of presentation, you know, how do we get through here? And I think presentation and all of the things that everyone here is doing, including those who had to sign off early, Marge and Kathy, presentation is the name of the game.
right.
Because you're selling an end product of something,
Yeah.
right? So it's also helping people really get to that end product. And that end product of an affordable luxury or a way to make things practically more functional is going to only grow over the next 12 to 18 months because we don't have enough jobs coming back. We have all of these things that are feeling a little up in the air. And so you really do have practicality is going to be really ringing loud, things that can do double duty, right? I don't have to get a new bag, I can just get a new handle. So she's still going to get a purchase. It may not be the expensive bag, but it's something. There's still cash flow coming in. I don't have to sell a $250 bouquet for Christmas. I can sell, you know, a smaller bouquet that everybody can have that looks like it was, you know, grand. Or I can give it because it's also based on a story. If you saw the "You Are Beautiful" stickers that came out, right? They were a product that sold for $4.50, and the product that sold was because of the story around it. That this woman had made these, she was handing them out to people to really just make them feel better, to bring joy into that. And we have so much body dysmorphia that's going on in the world that she would really choose people who would be an unlikely item and say something to them that she thought was beautiful. And just invited other people to do it. So she sold them in packs of 20. So now we have what is the expectation, right? That you should give this out to 20 people and tell them that they're beautiful. It doesn't have to be an expensive item, but it is something that makes me feel different, right? It makes me have an experience with that product. Okay, so I'm going to go back into screen share. Okay, are we in? Are you guys in? Okay, so I don't need to keep reminding you to share your tools in the text box, but I will. I'm going to go back up to just remind you about what we talked about. For those of you who may have come in late, remember, right, this is your art project. It's going to make you cry. Donna knows the last line very well, right? Are you going to play with it or are you going to fight with it? That if you have tips, you know, one of the things that I want you to leave with today is a tip for you of, you know, what are the practical items that you can do that. And so I do hope that every single one of you got something. So if you should shake your head yes or no, that'll kind of give everybody, so you've walked away with something. I think everybody's curious, right? We're looking for these kind of things, right? That these are projects that are capable of getting done. So think about these practical items. That may be that you're going to take a photograph of somebody using your product. That may be that you're going to figure out what the illusion of benefit is, right? And sometimes the illusion of benefit is not having something, right? And the invitation to participate, right? The invitation to participate in the handbag example, right? Or in the getting your picture taken with the product, getting a picture of the actual flowers that are delivered, right? Getting social media content. That these are the things that we can kind of look at. In this case, the illusion was that there was a benefit that's there, that they've totally got you covered. And that we've got you covered against you losing something, not of you gaining something. So I also want to have you, I want that to ring in your head, right? What are the things that someone would be fearful of losing in your product that you can just say, look, if we lose that, we'll just do it, right? If the food is bad, we'll just order new food, or whatever that can be. The value of photography. I really want you to hear that part of just the pictures of what you're doing, where you're doing it, and the people using your product, because they need to have that positive outcome, right? When we go back to that illusion, right? The invitation came in. When you have illusion of benefit on top of an invitation, we get a double whammy, because it gives the illusion that I'm totally looking out for you, which they were. That's not, I mean, it's a real thing, but it's not a benefit that I can say, this was the best picture ever, right? I'm not promising something necessarily. I'm giving an illusion of benefit. If you lose that, don't worry, we've got a picture for you. If you lose that picture, we still have it, right? This is the benefit against loss. And if there's a problem, we'll just do it. Just call us. The number's on their receipt. So these are practical solutions that they had to put into their POS system, that they had to figure out along their process, right? How do we get these pictures to people? How do we get the product delivery? That these are just very specific step-by-step moments that somebody had to come up with real practical solutions on. And when you have that invitation, we really see people go, oh yeah, this is going to be a great holiday card. And the benefits that has, right? Hey, just FYI, Joey's on so-and-so social media today coloring, wanted to just send you a picture, right? These are happy. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. They're using Joey. Here we go. Or this is the party that we didn't get to go to, or this is the product. Doesn't matter. But again, happy people are a business goal. When you're looking at what are the practical things you're looking to put in, you're looking for that business goal of having happy people and inviting them to share their happy, right? And then really thinking about in advance, what are the practical solutions that your customer needs? They may need something at last minute. They may need something that can be overnighted. They may need something that shows something really unique that they can't get any other way. So what is that item? We talked about, right, putting that twist together, right? Adding things together that are already present and then selling two things at one time. So that may be selling an event, right? Helping with a coloring event and a fundraising tool. So they may be able to just say, look, let's pair together. We have this fundraiser, but another tool that we've given is that we just have a color off, and we will give you a special image for just your group, and you guys can have a color in. And we charge $5 admission. Here's what it looks like. Another way to raise money, right? You can give them two things that they can put together. Again, practicality is the way to measure what your customer has to do business with you. How is your door open? How did they get to you? Do they have to know you in advance? How can they get that deal? Is there a packet they can download? Is there a how-to guide? Is there an example? Can they order just 5? Can I just order 5 images for my social media, right? Can I just get 5 photographs that I can use and I have all the rights to? Really using your phones, if many of you are actually available to your clients via text. So that would be, again, the illusion of benefit. and sometimes the real one, that you're really going to focus on what is the get. In this particular one, this little square thing was done on Canva, right? Being a business owner can feel like it's all on you. The NW2 Mastermind group gave me a place to show up and grow with others. Sometimes it's just nice to have a group to show up with, but it's also nice to have a place that people actually give a shit about you and your growth, and then you can grow with other people. It's way more fun, right? But again, what's the get? What do we get from you hanging out with you, knowing you? The piece again, practicality, is the aspect or the situation that involves the actual doing of the experiences rather than just the idea, right? Hey, a party is supposed to look like this, or this is the traditional way. You don't need to tell me of all that stuff. We're looking at what's the actual experience. The experience that you'll get is that I'll show up at this time and I'll deliver this product. Or the experience is that we got an annual show and we can invite you to the event space. You may do an annual event tour, right? There's lots of ways. How are they doing that? Janet, that may be actually just having an online show of the images that you're willing to share, right? To say, look, I've photographed for 25 years. Here are some of the images that are available to share. Do you want to go on a walking tour virtually of these 100 images? And then figure out what that price point would be, right? You can pick 10 of these 100 and this is the cost, right? You can have 10 people come in and do that. You can pre-plan the 100 images. Even if they're all buying the same images, it doesn't matter. The chances of their businesses overlapping are very slim. That's why stock photo works. That's why stock photo works over and over again. Think about how you let people know what you do through the experience. What is the experience that you're going to get? Most people, right, are going to know how you make them feel more than the product itself, right? So when they're looking at Karen and they're going to go, oh, hey, here are all the ways that I feel hope. And she's going to send them a reminder of how they can remember to feel hope, right? And that hope is a big deal. So then she can get to be known as, right, the hope person. One of the things that we have every year that Karen does is we have a brain spa event, which I don't know we're going to get to have this year because of COVID, but the big deal is that you would write a letter to yourself, right? Something so simple. And then Karen holds them for a year and she mails them off, right? So she's known for that every person, they wrote the letter. They wrote the letter, but when it comes, right, that love is coming back to Karen to go, oh, it's my letter to myself. And it's a really powerful tool. It's a powerful tool for people to measure their growth. It's a powerful tool to be available to thinking about all the things they wish for. You may be modeling a twist in behavior. So when we look at, hey, I want you to think about this differently, that there's another way to do that. Sometimes when we look at, right, the kind of crazy that you have, it may be the kind of crazy that somebody else has. So if you have a love of glaciers, there's a whole world of people who love glaciers too. And, find out how you reach out to those people and how those people can practically do business with you, right? So Donna, in your case, the product that you have ready, that product has the availability immediately to be ready to go, right? And that it's for a specific grouping. And I think I've given you guys Redbubble as the tool before, that you already have all that art. How do I get that art on 20 different products in one day? And Redbubble is a tool that has artists come in, they put their images there, and then people can order them on a t-shirt, on a mug, on everything else. They're going to do the drop shipping, and then they're just going to pay you for the art. So Redbubble is another tool that you can probably really practically use to just see if the image itself will sell. Again, right, practicality. Show your clients how to get started. If you're selling them a fundraiser, then to go, hey, here's how long it takes to do a fundraiser. You know, here's the paperwork. You know, you send us an email. We give you your choices. You put your order in. This is how much you make. This is how it's done. Done. Your upfront cost is 0, right? So give people how they can get started on your product. How do they run the fundraiser? How long does it take from the beginning to the end? Give them all of the questions that they're going to have in advance. How can they intertwine that product? How can they do it with an event? How can they do it with another item? What does this pair well with? We have a peanut butter company that does they're actually a nut butter company. So there are actually many different kinds of nuts mixed together in a special nut. And they reach out to other things and they brand their thing with their thing. And then they showcase it together. They intertwine the products. Hey, we found our nut butter tastes great with this protein blast. So they started going to all these protein powders and saying, you're adding this to a morning shake, add our nut butter, here's the recipe. Right? So that's intertwining two products, or how to talk about that product. Where do people eat the most nut butter is not apparently via toast. It is via spoon or drink. So most people literally are like scooping out a thing of nut butter and eating it like that. Or they're adding it to something like a smoothie because they want the protein. So them having that conversation is another way for them to really talk about their product. Again, we talked about the friendship tea, letting people know how to use that product, right? How do we build friendship? How do we have a product that maybe is a tea? Jamie, and this would be a great one for you, is to invite people to, here's how we can set up a tea party for you guys. This would be a great young person product, right? To have a friendship tea with their 2 best friends or something, right? That they can do it in a lot of different ways. You're doing a lot of prepackaged products. So this is another one that can be a product that they can put out that's very photographable. Right? Tell me what you do so that I understand it quickly. Again, I go back to that photography. Boom. Tell me what it is. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out whether or not you like cookies. And in this picture, you get an idea. Here's how many cookies you're going to get, you're expecting. Here's how many, you know, you can tell that they're small. You know, they're little cookies. I'm in. Okay, let's have those. It's product showcasing. If you have multiple products, find the way that you want to showcase them.
You need a pot of tea with the cookies.
Oh yeah, those would have been great together. Again, the change here that I want you to really pay attention to on the 3 products to compare, I want you to go back to that middle product. Everyone has been trained to put the medium dose in the middle, and that is actually not the right answer. You're really going to put in the product you actually want to sell that has the highest price point value to you, and then downgrade from there. So here's the big enchilada. This is the one that has, I think, all of your needs met. This is where I'm going to sell it, and then I'm going to down it from there. Because people are more afraid of loss than they are of gain. And that's where the old model doesn't work. The old model just says, oh yeah, well, people are going to go back based on price. That's not true. They're going to go to where they don't lose. So what is the big win that you want people to have? What are the things you want to photograph? What's the magic that you're there to sell? So if we were going to do that in consulting hours, can somebody just have 1 hour a year? Sure. Can you buy 12 hours a year? Sure. But this is the product we really want to sell you. I don't want to wait to the end to get there. I want them to go back to the thing that they wanted. The thing that they wanted is in the middle, and the thing that you want to deliver is in the middle. So if you want to sell the book for them to color, the ability for them to do a fundraiser on it, for them to have an in-house coloring party that has specifically their brand, that costs $5, and here's all the coloring tools, and you want them to be able to get all of the party decorations and so forth, then that's the one that goes in the middle. Okay, sell magic, because that's the cream filling. So just think about it as a cream filling, right? When we go back to this other part of practicality, what you want other people to talk about. So again, I would think about just, I want you to kind of have it in your mind. What are you known for? When we look at that, you know, Karen, I'm going to use you as an example. What do your clients, what are you known for?
Hope and helping people.
Yeah, hope, helping people, and
stress.
And
a letter they get back from you.
Well, creativity.
Creativity, right? Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things that you sell is creativity. You sell it in the form of hope. You sell it in the form of these other things. But again, being fearless, being a fearless creator.
I can show you the right-brained list of things.
Oh, I love this.
This is from Marnie Makrodakis, and those are her 9 rules. Well, they aren't rules, but that's what she thinks that your business should have.
Right.
And your favorite thing is second.
Yes, play, 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 play.
Well, she has play and delight, and they're different.
Oh, so, they absolutely are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Marnie, Karen, I would put that tool in the chat box. Marnie really has a lot of great products and tools there. And again, right, what are you known for? And when you are looking at what you are known for, you get to decide that. You get to showcase from there. So that's a great building there. If you haven't heard it before, Saatchi and Saatchi, and it's really looking at that brand of love branding. So they wrote the book on how to experience style. So these are ideas that have been proven in some of the largest ad campaigns that you've seen, that we all love. So if you've ever seen a Pampers commercial and just smile at how cute that kid is toddling with its, you know, happy self and just their diapers, that you just go, oh my gosh, what a cute kid, right? That's a very different brand sell than a crying baby who's unhappy in a grocery cart, right? Because that's how they used to sell diapers, was of a screaming baby in a grocery cart. Yuck. And they decided to sell cleanliness, right? So that baby is shown in a clean environment. They're at home, they're happy, right? We know how to do social. We want to have people talking about you behind your back in the ways that you like the best. We talked about sharing the journey again, right? How do we illuminate what you do? How are you going to invite people through your journey to be more available to their own journey, to their own truth? And everybody that's in this group that's here today and that aren't here today, they all have that same piece, right? That they've gone through lots of stuff. Again, review and practicality, listening to your customers, letting them know, right? We have this love shirt as an example. How do your clients give you feedback, right? So that's a practical tool. That may be giving them a follow-up email, that may be charting that progress for them. One of the things that I will do is a lot of times I'll put up a picture on Google when I do a review, and I try to take a really good picture because I always do. And then I will frequently send them a note that I get from Google. So like I have one picture that had 5,000 views in a month. So I'll send them to go, hey, good news. The picture I posted for you on Facebook, because you're my client, I mean, not that I posted for you on Google, has already had 5,000 views this year. You know, yay. So again, how are you going to give and get feedback? The again, inviting people to something can be anything. The inviting a truth to be told, right? When you start to look at the truth to be told, it may be around how most events aren't fun. It can be around how they're spend money in the wrong place. It can be that just understanding the power of owning your own social media content actually has a value to your business. When you have branded content in a product, you own that product. It is an asset. We do not call them pictures. We call them assets. So when you're looking at social media, I do need you to really consider that all of what you're creating are assets. And they're assets that are a sellable and valued item in your business. So Jamie, and if you want to know why I want you to focus in on photography that's valuable, is because it's an asset, and it's an asset to your business. And if you were going to sell that business, that content goes with it. And for some people, their online content is going to change the business price of what they have by 50%. So I use the example of a fence company that we had a few years ago, that they had installed over 100,000 fences. And each one of them had this, you know, probably 2x2 sign on it that had their phone number. Installed by, need a repair, whatever. So you could just go out to the fence itself, no matter who owned that house, then there's a phone number. That phone number, and having it on 100,000 products that were already out and in use, ended up to be a huge, huge selling point. It's a practical solution, right? A practical solution. But again, you're building assets. So think about what you're doing. Think about those photographs. For those of you who have been hanging with me a long time and have a photograph of us together, or, you know, Donna, I go back to one of my favorite pictures of you from a Rich Chicks event, right? You know, that you're always looking great, right? These are items, right, that are meaningful. They're meaningful to you. So having your product photographed with happy people, having a happy time, just like the smile it brought to you, it'll bring to them. Even if that party was 12 years ago, right? So you're building an asset, and that asset is people being happy, right? This is Trish Sishin, who's in here as well, right? Some people that aren't in this class. But again, the amount of growth that Trish had from being in a group allowed her to open another group, right? That's part of the reason that she's not here, is because she opened another group around mental health. And so because she saw what a committed community could do, she was able then to build another committed community that really spoke to the things that were on her needs. So you may also want to invite people to this community. You may also want to, you know, decide how you're going to gather people together to have happy relationships. This one is from a while ago, right? Mastermind group helped me find my people, and that helped me find myself. One of the reasons why you want to hang out with each other is because it helps you find out who you are, right? Who you are and what you do. Okay, so I'm going to open us back up again. I'm going to stop share, and I'm just going to pull back those because I'm going to quiz everybody. Right? What are you taking away? Oh, Danny's back. Are you already done with your interview?
No, I'm holding out as long as I can until they call.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Oh, and somebody just sent me a picture of the two of us together 8 years ago. So
oh my God.
that is hilarious.
Am I pregnant in that picture?
We did executive costume bowling. So we did beer and bowling at 8 a.m. We took an entire team out to this really crazy place, made them get dressed up in costumes and bowl.
So much fun.
And have beer at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know, let's just start that day out. Okay, bye, Danny. We're glad to see you. If you get back in, you can. Okay. Want to kind of pull back. I'm going to quiz you. What are you taking away from today? Jamie, and you're on the bottom, so I'm going to come to you first. What are the real things that you're going to take away today?
The main thing is I wrote down is like, what am I known for?
Yep.
And I just kind of wrote down notes to myself, like just establishing that for myself. That was the biggest thing I took away. And always like the pictures and stuff, as far as that goes, as far as like showing my process and that type of thing. But the main thing was I wrote in big letters, what am I known for?
Right. And what are your immediate thoughts on that? What are you known for? Oh, good, we get Marge back.
Working a million jobs.
Right. But we really
working a million businesses, like yeah.
Right. But again, I think when we hone into the things that I want you to kind of push you towards, what are the things you enjoy doing the most that pay you the best? Okay, so we want to know right then and there. What are the things that you're known for and what do they pay you the best? If I were going to pick known for myself, it would probably be this right here, classrooms, right? That I love teaching, I love being in community, I love being in community, I love being in community, right? Or it may be energy. So I would think about the things you really want to be known for.
Okay.
I'm going to open it up to, because some of you are watching, some of you watch her on social media, or that they were in Goblet Summer with you. What do you think would be appropriate for her to be known for?
I'm sorry, I don't know the specific answer to that, but it reminds me of that one saying that says, you know, when you have a portfolio, don't put your whole body of work in there. Put what you want people to call you for. Like, it isn't just I do all this stuff. It's like, this is what I love doing. And your body of work versus this is the cream on the top that I want you to, this is what I love.
Right. And I think, Jamie, and what you also have in common with Marge Weir, who's doing the same thing that you do to us, right? Where Marge is going to just wave at us as she's cleaning out this huge thing, right? That you are a multipreneur, right? You have many different things that are going to be there. No worries being known for a multipreneur, but you do want to be known as successful at multipreneuring, not chaotic, right? That the chaos isn't what sells. What we're going to really enjoy about watching Marge, you know, she's an inventor. That's her number one role. She's invented multiple products that's no one's going to take her past inventions away from her. She's built a light company that is selling every day. She's got manufacturing that has to go with that. And she's also a realtor. Okay, and now she's taken on this huge farm project. So Marge, I'll let you be able to speak for yourself, right? Because you are the multipreneur.
Yeah, and it is, because people always look at you and go, that's exactly it. Is if you go, well, I would like to have you invest or help with this, and then I have this, and I'm doing this, then they think you're just a nut job. I mean, it just really, until the proof is in the pudding when you've had those different successes and you can juggle the things, because I'm juggling many things, but it's like a realtor juggling many listings, or you juggling many clients. You know what I mean? They're just that they're diverse, and it's way more fun. Can you hear me?
Well, so sometimes we hear you, sometimes we don't.
Oh, because I'm gonna switch this around. Can you see? Am I on the right side?
Oh, this is great. Yes, you see it right. Here's
so
the big
first
farm.
dumpster just left. The first dumpster just left, but you can see at my it's a huge undertaking, and I'm not doing a lot of the work. Like my kids are, and we're hiring people, and I have kids that are very capable, and it's really for them. It's like a family property for them, and I'm just the one who gets things going and is keeping the wheels on the bus, but I'm not doing a lot. I'm trying to do a little cleanup today to do my little part, but they know I'm not the worker bee anymore.
And Marjorie, you want to tell us a little bit about that project? It was a farmhouse. You're a realtor, you found it.
Yeah. I was looking for somebody who has a lot of money, who was looking for land, and I sent them this address, and they came and they sent me a text and said, oh my God, Amityville horror. We don't want to, absolutely not. It's horrible. So of course, then I was interested and went and looked, and that was back in May. And here
the size
we are.
Of that property is what again?
21 acres, with about 4 or 5 acres are the river, the Kinnickinnick River. And there's a cattle barn and a machine shed and a pole barn and a house. And the house it said tear down. And I don't know if I can, it looks terrible outside, but can you see it? You could see there's some damage here, but I mean, it's river view. It needs new windows, and it's giant. I mean, it's got flat wood floors and 4 bedrooms and 2 baths and a kitchen with 20 drawers. So it needs a lot of work, but on the other hand, it's not mucked up. It's a very original 1950s house. So anyway, so we'll be able to live in it by, January maybe, or Liz will. And I was just drawn to it. Like I could not let it go. And I spent 5 minutes to buy it, and I'm not even moving here. 5 months from May to, it was May 28th is when we made our first offer, and we closed October 28th. Right. So it's been nothing but a hassle. And then somebody broke in and stuff like that. So we're trying to make it secure. But there's all these businesses we can do. I mean, really, literally, my daughter has a cleaning business, and she could do everything here to make money and not clean anymore. So she's trying to get herself, she could do her dog sitting in a dog area, for drop off.
Right, because there's 22 acres. Stuff.
Yeah, it's right. Like she could do a whole section for that. And at some point we will have parties or weddings or something in the pole barn. There's a lot of storage there, and then my business will be there. So right. It's just
and that's manufacturing. So you've got a manufacturing space, you've got a party space, you've got multipreneur spots, right?
Yeah.
Jamie, I can see your head just going, hello, my twin sister, right? Hello, my twin sister.
Yeah, it's like super exciting, even though it's just a disaster right now. It's like unbelievable what it can be. And I always have that vision, I'm always looking like in the future of how pretty it is, and ignore the fact of what a hellhole it is. And right. And then like when I drove out after closing, I came out by myself, and my son was meeting me over here, and I pulled in and went, what the fuck were you thinking? I mean, you're crazy, because it's just terrible. It just looks terrible. But on the other hand, this payment is like renting an apartment in Minneapolis, and we have to have a lot of money flowing to, to keep things going and to fix things up. But the loan rate right now is so cheap, just everything aligned, I feel really lucky. My mom has moved. I have to give that little backstory. My mom has moved 69 times, never owned property. I've moved at least 40 times, or I've had 27 roommates and moved 40 times, and or else it's the other way around. 40 roommates, 27 moves. And some of my roommates, the same roommates, so I'm not that hard to live with. but it's like this stability, like this will be in our family forever. I really feel that, you know, like it'll be valuable. We could sell it, but it'll be a family property forever. Like I finally gave, because we were closed in 2012, and what we owed on it versus what the bank sold it to the city for, like our city of Afton always wanted that property, and shenanigans, you know, and anyway, so that was torn down. So this is nice to have a property
Thank you
again.
for sharing this with us, Marge.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna
Jamie
watch
and
the
I can-
recording if you do it.
Oh, good. Jamie, you have the same thing happening with your family land, with some other things. So I think there's a lot that you and Marge can probably talk about off piece. Wow, Danny's already done with her interview. So Danny's coming back on. Wanted to kind of give you guys a chance to just give us your last pieces. Donna, what are you taking away today? What are your specifics?
So I wanted to make sure to have Janet's phone number, because I do have questions about this. What a fundraiser, what are the steps? So I'm going to tap you, Janet, to understand what it takes to put a picture on a cover. And, you know, like, it just doesn't sound that hard to me, but anyway, that's very practical for me. That's going to be a next step, is just understand from a graphic artist or designer, whichever one it is you are. I mean, that perhaps you can help me with that. Here's what's involved.
Right. Yeah, I think that's great.
I mean, and there was a lot of ideas today, Mickey, but in the whole practical next step, that I just wanted to make that differentiation.
What I would take away out of that, right, the way that I interpret that in my Mickey brain is that you heard me on how to get your customers a clear way to get to the product you want.
Yes.
Okay. Janet, what are you taking away with you today?
Well, all of your ideas. I like how Donna had a practical thing. And then I see some ways of growth with how my customer could grow. And I could help, that's the benefit. Like I could help my customer grow, tap into thousands of people. I don't know, it just things I hadn't thought of that are the fun of it, the joy of it. And like the crocodile alligator thing, it's not like, we only have your picture for 30 days, so don't mess up. It's like, we will have your picture for 30 days. So remembering the happiness in life.
Right, go enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Go play in our holes. Go play. Go play. Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry about the flash drive. We're gonna give it to you now, but don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Yeah. Enjoy this process. Good. Danny, what are you taking away? What's the concrete item you're taking away from today? Oh, we might have lost her. Okay. All right. She's coming back. Got to unmute. Okay.
She did. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What are you taking away from today?
Me?
Yeah.
A couple things. Cater to my people. So my nerds and my kids. Send flowers to children. Send them to people who are in their early to mid 30s, because we all grew up with Harry Potter. And two is something that I actually thought of for my sister, and that is to have a virtual gallery opening for her. She has hundreds of pictures or paintings, I should say, and no one can see them right now. So starting a virtual gallery for her where admission is so much or whatever, and she can sell her paintings would be perfect.
Right.
But mostly cater to my people.
Cater to your people, right? Love them big. Karen, are you taking anything away today?
I am. I think that I don't bill myself as a creative in my business, but what people coach with me, we do some fun things like I asked them to tell me what holds them back. And so for the fall, I had them do little leaves, and then you put them in a jar. And so on the back, they write what it is that holds them back. Like this one is negative people and fear of failure. That's a big one. So I think coaching is sometimes kind of not exactly boring, but there's a lot of things that I do in the coaching process that are more right-brained. And I think people get a lot further on that than, 1, 2, 3, here's the goals and like that.
Right. Okay. And any last words? Because I'm gonna sign us out. Okay, I will share screen again if you guys want to watch the 2018. Now remember, I was doing eye selfies. I haven't done one for 2020 because we were in COVID, but I may give you a last year one. But anyway, so if you want to just leave your thing on, I'll put share screen on, and it's a 3-minute video. We did it in 2018. For those of you who were there in 2018, you already saw it, but it's just a fun way to go. Here's some creativity. Again, that eye selfie series is always about my eyeballs, and just talking about, right, because I have to do a creative way to just do, I'm going to take a picture of my eyeballs, and here's what we're going to talk about it. This 2018 happened to be the year that I was arrested, that I was stopped by the police twice in doing those images, pulled over, and like police sirens running. One was they thought I was going to jump off the Mall of America. So, it was a fun year to do. It was again, going back to your piece of how do you have an online art show, right? That is just for fun. Tilly has a lot of pieces that she can kind of put together, and, she can always come to class too. So remind her of that.
Yes, I will.
I'm going to sign off. Does anybody have any last words that they want to chat about before I go to screen share and say goodbye?
Just thank you.
I have a question, Mickey.
Okay.
Are we doing teacup winter, like goblet summer?
We should, yes. Yes, maybe. I like the idea.
You put all kinds of fun things in
I just saw Jamie and perk up to be like, what? Can we come back?
Or like whiskey winter. I like whiskey.
Whiskey winter.
Yes.
Right.
You have to put recipes with it.
Good you.
There's whiskey in my teacup all the time.
Right. I feel like the two of you should just put together that group, because that's the one. In response to Goblet Summer, just have a whiskey winter. And what a funny thing. Yeah. And then just invite everybody from Goblet Summer. That's hilarious. That's
perfect.
Funny.
I will get on that today.
I would say you got that, Danny.
Right. Right. You have 2 members already. Just like three. She's having whiskey winter too. Okay. Well, I'm going to screen share. You won't be able to see me anymore, but goodbye. And here is our last piece. Let's hope it plays. Senses engaging, the sense to style is divine. I want you closer, and I won't stop till you're mine. I can't get you off my mind, no matter how hard you break my heart tonight. If you walk on by, gotta feel it coming over me. It's got me shivering inside. Every time that I get next to you, devilish eyes I can't
cannot hide. You can try to hide what's meant for me. If I were you, I wouldn't try. Angelic body gets the best of these devilish eyes. I cannot hide. Like animals in the jungle, draw me in with your scent. Thinking so many notes in your thoughts, you make me wanna live. No matter how much you do it, play the game in distress. My mind's always wondering to get you out of that dress. Oh yes, got a feeling coming over me, got me shivering inside. Every time that I get next to you, devilish eyes I cannot hide. You can try to hide what's meant for me. If I were you, I wouldn't try. Angelic body gets the best of these devilish eyes I cannot hide. Oh, yes. These eyes of mine. These eyes of mine. Got this feeling coming over me. It's got me shivering inside. Every time that I get next to you, devilish eyes I cannot hide. You can try to hide what's meant for me. If I were you, I wouldn't try. Angelic body gets the best of these devilish eyes I cannot hide.
All right. Well, for those of you who stayed, thank you. There you go. All right. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.